Well, good morning, folks. It is Nick Mobauer, and today we have our first crappie. We're at a different spot, and I just vertical jigged him up with a GULP Minnow from Berkley and just a little white crappie. But they're just starting to bite, and fall is definitely in the air. I'm fishing for them a little different today. Like I said, I do have my slip bobber out there, but that one was caught vertical jigging. I'm in 9 feet of water. On my helix, I am marking some brush or some wood, and I'm just dropping it down all the way to the bottom, lifting off the bottom, and then that little crappie just smacked it. This place doesn't have the size the other place I was fishing has, but there is a chance at a really good one, and they're ultra rare, but it's super fun to catch those big, rare big ones. It's just a different fishery, and you know, you catch a lot of small ones and it's still fun, but you know, I just love the size diversity out here. It makes it kind of addicting in some weird way. So we're gonna vertical jig a little bit. We're just gonna fish real slow, and we're just gonna hit some different piles of brush I marked with my helix. And I even have my ice flasher in here because sometimes I like to vertical jig them with the flasher so I can see my jig and know exactly what depth it's sitting at. But we'll see what happens today. I don't have really any expectations. I don't have high expectations. I just kind of want to see where these fish are at. I just want to see if they're starting to bite, because this place is really tough during the summer, but it really picks up in the spring and fall months. So I just kind of want to see where these fish are at and see how aggressive they are. So we'll fish around, do some vertical jigging, do some fan casting, do some slip bobber and minnow fishing, and see if we can pull a couple out of the water in addition to that first one. Alright guys, this is crappie number 2 this morning. It's been really slow, but I think half of that's me. I'm really tired this morning, so my brain isn't there, but crappie number 2, guys. Little dinker, vertical jigging. But like I said, this place just has the potential for a giant, more or less. I mean, the odds are insanely stacked against you, but it's the curiosity and the possibility that keeps me out here. I got my 2 marker buoys set out here, and I got my flasher out. I decided to break out the flasher and try to finesse some vertical jigging. Just got my flasher out there. I dropped my jig to the depth that they're at, and I just try to catch them. You know, that's all there is to it. Mark and cover with a flasher, using the flasher to know where my jig is at in the water column, and just reeling them in. Well folks, I've about exhausted all my ideas I have for crappie this morning. I just can't buy a bite. I got 2 vertical jigging, and that's about the best I could do. Earlier this morning though, I found this Whopper Plopper on a tree. Somebody got hung up in a tree. I've always wanted one. I don't even know if it's a Whopper Plopper or not, but you know, it's a knockoff or it's the real deal. Anyways, I don't like paying $18 for a lure, but I'll definitely take one if I can find it on a tree. So I have 1 hour left to fish. I'm out on a short trip anyways today. Been a slow one, obviously. I'm gonna throw this around and see if I can't lose it to a big bass. I got 4-pound line, light reel, light rod, but it's got a pretty rigid tip. So I've caught actually my largest bass, a 7-pounder on this rod and this 4-pound line. So it can be done, but we're gonna be throwing it into some trees and stuff and see if we can't just catch a bass off this lure I found this morning. That will make the day interesting by just ending it, throwing some top water around. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I get bit. That'd be awesome. Well, guys, it catches fish. There we go. Not a very big one. Kind of looks thin too. But nonetheless, we swooped up bait from a tree and we caught a fish from the lure we found on a tree. I don't think that is a Whopper Plopper. I think they have a different eye on them. It's some knockoff. But anyways, it catches fish. It's got the same action. On that laydown, he was tucked up on that laydown. But hey, we caught one more fish today because of it. Been a slow day, been a grind. I was vertical jigging crappie. I was fishing with a minnow on a slip bobber. I was fan casting them, and they're just not fired up here yet. And usually that happens around October, but I thought maybe with the cool nights we've been having, the consecutive cool nights, I thought maybe those crappie would be getting fired up, but apparently they're not. So it's been kind of a it's been a slow trip. It's been probably the slowest trip I've had in months. I can't remember the last time I've had a slow day like this. I knew that that was a possibility coming out here today, so I can't say I'm bummed or anything. It was to be expected, honestly. I just know it's not that time yet, and I've been shown that. So I'm going to cast this around a couple more times and maybe try to pick up one more bass since one actually hit it. I mean, generally I like to fish a lure like this when there's more chop, and maybe I'll fish it over where there is, but it's just for the sake of catching a fish and having fun, making fun out of a tough day. So we'll just fish this Whopper Plopper a little more, or whatever the heck it is. Knockoff. I think it's a knockoff for sure. And see if we can't pick up at least one more bass, but I'm not counting on it, but we'll see. Stick around, we'll see. Hey guys, there was absolutely no need to stick around yesterday. Nothing else happened. I will admit I only had about 15 minutes left to fish before I had to hightail it home and pick up the dog and, you know, do other things that we do in life. So nothing else happened. I got bit, but not on a Whopper Plopper. I threw on a little Berkley Minnow again and got bit and lost it, you know, probably because I don't have the ability to set a hook really hard on a bass with that 4-pound line, so that might have been the reason why I lost that fish. All water under the bridge, no big deal. Anyways, yeah, it was just a slow day, and like I said in the video, I expected it to be a slow day. Not that slow, but again, I was not disappointed. I just wanted to see where these fish were at and if they were getting fired up. The water temperature, the surface water temperature was still 70 degrees, and I just don't think those fish really start going crazy until that water there is actually in the 60s, mid 50s, all the way down to the upper 40s. Those fish will bite pretty good if you get there on the right day. Crappie fishing's not there yet, you know, at that body of water. It's just not there yet, and I wanted to try, you know. Curiosity got me this time. It didn't work in my favor, but we know that the fish just aren't there yet. So every time you go out on the water, you can take something away from it, regardless of it being a not very exciting trip. We still learn something. So always try to come away from a trip with a good mindset, and always try to come away from a trip feeling like you learned something, because it might help you at another time. Like I said, I will now know that I probably can wait a little longer before I start crappie fishing out there. I can probably give it a couple more weeks, let that water cool down a couple more degrees, and see if that really gets them going. So keeping it short, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll hopefully have a bit more of an exciting video coming up here. We'll see when I get out on a trip. Next weekend's my birthday on Sunday, so I guarantee I'll be out. Looks like there's supposed to be rain, but as long as it's not too heavy, that won't stop me. Nothing stops me from fishing. I'll talk to you guys later, and look forward to making another video for you guys. Have a good day. Have a good week, guys. Take care. Bye.